So it's really... So first up, let's touch on weapon balance and gameplay updates. If you remember, before the holidays, we did have a fairly comprehensive weapon balance pass pushed live, specifically touching on things like the Akita. Wanted to make sure that those shotguns weren't dominating your holidays too much. And then last week, we had our next weapon balance pass that went live, specifically touching on the Maddox. With that one, we did want to make sure that we maintained its unique characteristics of that close range capability while pulling in that mid to long range a little bit. And then quickly, I'll touch on just our timings for gameplay balance updates, weapon patches. Depending on the season and where we're at, we do want to make sure we're taking our time on when those come live. We want to make sure that weapons like the Kogat, the so-called the Maddox, those have time to kind of settle in and see where they're at in the meta, hear your feedback, of course, and then look at that against the data we're getting. So timings can vary, but generally we try to hit those weapon balance updates at the start of a season or very shortly after. So let's touch on the maps that we're seeing in Season 1 Reloaded. Of course, we have the brand new 6v6 map, Yakai. That does support every single 6v6 mode, and of course, gunfight and face-off, if you're playing those modes out there. That is generally our philosophy with our new 6v6 maps as we release in the future. And then we also saw Meltdown, which we haven't seen since Black Ops 2. And of course, we saw the return of Fringe, which has been super awesome to play with the new Wall Jump Edition in Black Ops 7. So weekly challenges. We've been very excited to see the reception of weekly challenges in Season 1, starting with the Ballistic Knife in Week 1, onto the Deadeye Drone score streak, and then with the M8A1 full auto conversion. I've personally been having a ton of fun hopping on, bouncing between MP, endgame, and zombies to complete my challenges, and I'm looking forward to getting that Coral Streaks camo in Week 9. And as a reminder, we are always watching player conversations. Just last week, we saw the feedback on the AK-27 Battle Scar conversion kit that was released in weekly challenges, and we improved that one quite a bit. The team is always working on the next set of weapons, the next set of maps, the next set of gameplay updates, so please keep that feedback coming. And now we're going to take a look at a few of your questions for multiplayer. So first up, when is the Scout change coming? So the update to the Scout hybrid combat specialty change will be coming soon, and specifically that one will be where instead of a full counter to the harp score streak, Scout will turn the enemy player into a red dot instead of a directional indicator. This one was a bit more involved. Usually we like to try to push out those updates a bit quicker, but this one required some code work, so it does need to be in a full patch. Next question, when ranked play? As we've said before, ranked play is going live at the launch of Season 2. We're very excited to see everyone hop out there and start grinding those ranks. And of course, we have some awesome rewards for everybody to earn. All right, next question. Are Babylon and Stakeout coming to Black Ops 7? Those maps are not currently planned for Black Ops 7, but we will have a few additions we're excited to talk about soon for future seasons. The team is currently focused on new 6v6 maps, as well as, much like Meltdown, some maps you haven't seen in a very long time. That's my time for today. Let's kick it over to Kevin Drew to talk about Endgame and Zombies.
So starting with Endgame, it's really cool to see the positive reactions to the Deathclaw Hunt event, as well as the Phantom skill track. Both of those things I think have been received really well, and it's kind of good to see the feedback for that because that really just informs Endgame in general. This is a brand new mode for us, and we're really excited about it because we're not really afraid to touch any aspect of it. And so it's really driven based on what's resonating with players, and the team has some really exciting new things coming at Season 2 for Endgame, so keep an eye out for the blog. So happy belated 115 Day to everyone out there who celebrates, which is hopefully everyone. You could see from the blog that we showcased a lot of cool stuff coming from the community, as well as a bit of a preview for what's going to be coming in Season 2 and Season 2 Reloaded. The roadmap and blog are going to have plenty of details on what's coming as well. So there's been a handful of bugs regarding augments recently. This is something that is a top priority for the team, and we've been working around the clock to fix all of these. So a couple of examples of some of our fixes is Melee Macchiato wasn't working with the Ballistic Knife. Now it should be. And then the multi-pack augment for Mule Kick wasn't working, and that also should be working as well. So let's talk about how we prioritize fixes for things in zombies. Depending on what the thing is, it can take a long time because we have to make changes to the executable, versus other things can be a lot easier to fix and can be patched overnight. So we try to evaluate each issue on a case-by-case basis. There's definitely kind of this idea of like sometimes there's some very clear bugs or exploits, right? Like automated scripts that allow you to get to round 99 without doing anything, right? That's very clearly like we need to make sure that that's not happening. Like that invalidates the experience and the challenge that a lot of people are going after. An example of a not so obvious case where it might look like we're nerfing fun is using like the TED test as an example for survival maps. We slightly extended the variance of when those could appear. That actually came from me. In play tests, I felt like having those appear so frequently was actually a little distracting from just the core survival experience. But I can see why people react and see that as nerfing fun, because we are occasionally make it so you can't earn as many rewards. So in that example, we're listening, we're going to revert that change to bring it back to how it was. So as you might have seen in the blog, Cursed Survival will be coming at the start of Season 2. You'll be able to use all of your relics on all the survival maps. This is something I had talked about late last year, wanting to make sure we did it right, making sure we are able to reward you for doing this. So we do have a cool set of rewards for doing different tiers on each of the survival maps that include really nice XP bumps, gobblegums, and some unique weapon charms that are based on the relics themselves. This will be private matchmaking as well, just like normal Cursed. The reason we do that is because you can activate all sorts of different relics and create really difficult game sessions, so we don't want people to publicly matchmake into that. But you should still be able to play by yourself or with your friends. This is a mode that's brand new to us as well, and it's really exciting because we get to see what resonates with players and react to that. So we have plans to make plenty of relics throughout the rest of the seasons. We're really excited about the relic designs in general because it's something that we're all making together. We're listening to the community. We have our own new ideas about different ways to play the mode and different combinations of how you can put all that together. So something we're just really happy to be making on and are excited about. So now we'll touch on some of the questions coming from you all out in the community. So can we buff the LGM1, right? The map's been out for a month now, so we're still evaluating it. In the case of this type of wonder weapon where it has infinite ammo, we are very cautious about damage, but we also hear that it's not quite doing enough damage at high rounds, so that's something we're still evaluating. Also, the LGM1 will be in the Mars survival map coming at Season 2, so it's something that we're still very much looking at for balancing. Any further balance adjustments for Oscar? So we feel like Oscar is in a pretty good place. His role is a unique one. He is a tank that actually discourages you from trying to kill him. That being said, we understand that if you do go through the great lengths of taking him down, the rewards could be slightly better. So that's something we're still looking into, but no promises. Any updates on legacy weapons coming to zombies? So this is something that we're excited about with the team. We're still trying to figure out the right way to do it. And this is kind of an extended stretch goal, but I think the way we do it will be something that players will really enjoy. Are the remaining relics bugged or just undiscovered? They're just undiscovered. We've tested them, and no more hints as of today, but keep hunting and looking for them. So that's it for me. Thanks again for all of the great feedback coming out of Season 1 Reloaded. Until next time.